Hello, everybody. This is Love Marlene 411, and welcome to the Sip and Chat. And we have my awesome co host, Miss Nexty.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Miss Marlene. How are you?
I'm doing great. Hold on one second because somebody seems to be playing a Disney movie, and I don't want to get copyrighted. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay, we are back. So, Miss Nexie, today on the Sip and Chat, we're talking about YouTube drama. But,
Uh-oh.
oh yeah. But before all of that, this is the Sip and Chat. What are you sipping on today?
Plain old water. Just water, Miss Marlene. It's healthy, no sugar added, just plain old water. Just simple. It's got a little bit warm here, so it's suiting me really, really well. How about you?
Good, good. Well, I have one of these seltzer, the flavored
Oh, the
um
flavor waters.
yep, no juice today.
My
But
daughter loves those. They
yeah,
only have the flavor, but not the sugar, right? And they
I
got a
have
little
the
bit of
flavor.
carbonation.
Yeah, it has the flavor, not the sugar. I was like, we're not doing alcohol today. I'm just gonna be healthy and good and all of that stuff. So, Miss Nexie, let's get into today's topic, shall we? Okay,
Ooh, ooh,
YouTube
ooh,
drama.
ooh.
Where's a fan? I need a fan. My God. Ooh, it's so much stuff going on, as they call in these YouTube streets. Mm.
Let me grab my fan because there's gonna be a lot of heat on this side. you, you
Oh my
know what,
goodness.
Miss Marlene? I was reading I came across a clip of something that I thought it was very well done, very interesting. Somebody doing um, something constructive. And I read a comment because I was about to comment, and then I read a comment that said, "This is exactly what YouTube, was made for, or should be made for, something like that." But the content this creator was posting, it was all about like behaviors, the things that she asks from her family, and the things that she um, uh, allows and don't allow her children and the rest of her family to do and not to do on YouTube. For starters, the one thing she said that she does not like to do is to post their faces when they
You're
do.
talking about kiddos, right?
Yes,
Okay.
and some adults, but she
Okay.
says that she's the content creator, not my family, right? So
Okay.
she blurs their faces, but they ask questions. It's a lot about parenting. It's a lot about the school drama, and a lot about what life is a parent of four kids and everything that they go through and stuff like that. So, but the thing that she was saying is that the content creator, their content should be about what they believe in, like the things that they have experienced, the life that they want to lead, not about drama. That's what I was trying to, that's why I brought this up, because
Mhm.
we're talking about this. So most of her content is, here and there she has something about her animals, and yeah, they're not blurred, they're so cute. But most of her thing is like that. It's all about the content, what she's bringing that day, not involving her family, because she says that she wants people to focus on what she's talking about, on how she's kind of trying to guide her family in this crazy world. not to be that crazy.
You know,
And so, yeah, so she stays away from drama because a lot of people, she says that a lot of people have criticized her. That what is the point of having her family there if she's not going to be showing their faces?
well, you know what, Miss Nexie, I have learned something being a content creator for over 5 years that, you have to, as a content creator from the beginning, set boundaries about what you will do, what you won't do, what you will allow, and what you won't. Hi, Miss Betty. How are you? Um,
Hello, Miss Betty.
you have to set boundaries, and I think a lot of people, they come onto this red app and they'll be like in a bad mood, get into an argument with a family member, get into an argument with a friend, or come on here with their drama, their ignorance, and they bring all of that to this space. It's like you're not bothering them, but people will come onto your YouTube channel. They will troll you. They will make fun of you. They will send all kinds of crazy stuff. People will make up lies about you. It's crazy how things are on this red app, the amount of things that people will do, because people will treat, like, when you're a content creator, like you don't have any feeling, that you're not somebody's loved one. It's wild, but I can't say, Miss Nexty, that some people who do things on this red app, I hate to say this, but some people, the things that happen to them, they deserve it.
Yes, yes, they do. And again, it's what people don't understand is that even though you're on, in front of a screen, there's a screen between you and the people that you're trying to reach. Karma comes to you no matter what. You know what I mean? You can think that you are the smartest person in this little red app, as you're saying, and that your content is only the best. You know what I mean? The highest percentage of some people that they think that they are at the highest percentage or at the most expert percentage of people that are in this app. What they don't understand is that maybe the way that, what you believe is not necessarily what you are,
Hmm.
or it is not what
Oh,
you are.
I know what you're trying. Miss Nixie is trying to say in a very nice way that a lot of people who come on this app, on this red app, they are not who they appear to be.
I was trying to be nice.
I know,
No,
but
no,
this
no.
is not the time for that.
No, what I'm trying to say is that what you think, if you think that you are that special person, that you are, you know how I was saying the other day, the 1% of those amazing, it's super brilliant people, they are called 1% for a reason, right?
Mhm.
They are
They
the
favor
1% of the
us.
world because they're so brilliant. There's
Yeah.
nobody like them. Well, there's people in this app that think that they are in that percentage. And it's not necessarily true. We have more in common with others, which should be something that we should celebrate because, yeah, it's beautiful to be on that 1%, it's something really rare. But if we can change a lot more people that are on the same percentage as we are, we should celebrate that and not try to make distinctions. Coming into this app, trying to create content, create what you know of. Don't copy anybody else's content because it's not going to come out like your own. And then you get criticized, and then you start pointing fingers at the person that first created this. And then you say that maybe it's that person sending trolls at you because you copied her or his
Mhm.
content. And you deserve this because if people come to you, to your channels and everything because we believe or we can kind of put ourselves in your shoes with what you're serving. So we come to you, we support you guys because we believe in your content. Now if you start making somebody else's content as your own, it's not going to come out the same way and people leave you and then they troll you. Maybe not even the person that you copy the content from, but their friends and families.
Yes, because they don't like it.
Exactly. It's not even the content creator that trolls you, it's their family or friends. I'm not putting myself on that. I'm just saying. Right? And so and also, the one big mistake they make, Miss Marlene, is that they're they're constantly attacking others, right? Um, they're always switching sides
Yep.
to where the money is. Like, and that's when you know that they're not here to give something positive or something good to the world because it's what they believe in. You know that they're here because they want to make money out of the app. And it's okay. I'm not criticizing that. It's okay for people to do that. But if you're going to do it in a positive way, then it's money worth it, right?
Mhm.
But if you're going to try to steal somebody else's content, make it your own, and then, or you're going to try to make content trashing other people and try to make money out of that's that's not going to last.
Miss Nexie, the thing that I've always said is it's nothing wrong with repeating something that somebody has said, but give the creator acknowledgement. Like I have always said, when I read something, a quote, or I learn something from someone, I always like to give people their, because that's theirs. It belongs to them. They have the right because of what they've learned, what they've gone through, or it's a message, it's a saying that they say. And I'm very much adamant about giving people their flowers because people deserve it. And it's crazy how people would just come on here and say, "Oh, I can take whatever I want to. I can say whatever I want to. I don't have to give anybody acknowledgement." Because what it really is, Miss Nexie, is there's a lot of people who want to get the limelight, they want to get the accolades, they want for people to praise them and make them think that they are smarter than they actually aren't. And that's where the problem lies, and I think that's the reason why it's so many different cliques and groups and different sectors on this app, because it could start off where you're getting along with somebody, say you do a collaboration, or you're going to their channel, you're giving people help, like those of you who don't know, who are not content creators, I'll give you a little bit of informational. When you start on YouTube, the goal is for you to get 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours, and the most views that you can on a video. But for most content creators, that's really hard when you just start off, like when you only have 500 subscribers and you only have like maybe 8 or 9 people coming to your video. So there's people who help by watching your playlist or doing certain things for you. But what disgusts me, Miss Nexie, and anybody who is listening, is the ones when you help them to get where they're going or to start getting a bigger audience, then they just drop you.
Yeah, they turn on you
Mhm.
because again, some people are here to create content and leave the universe a better place, right? Other people are just here to use people that have the gift of content creation, because I'm not one. I'm telling you, Miss Marlene, I've told you before, I'm not a content creator. I
She
can't
is,
do
everybody.
that. I
She's a
don't.
content creator. She's doing it right now.
No, I'm with you, with you. Like, I can do it with you. I can, we're friends outside of the little red app. We're friends, so I collaborate with you because when I give you my friendship and when I give you my word that we're gonna do something, even if sometimes we have to change, I am doing this with you because that's who I am. That's how I was brought up. When you give your word, you keep it. Because my dad always said, you may not be rich, you may not have a lot of money in the bank, but if you have your word and you're true to yourself, you're richer than anybody else with a lot of money in the bank. And so for me, that's important. So when people turn on me sometimes, or I see that they turn on other people so quickly after you have done so much for them, you have guided them, you have provided with them with content, because I know firsthand from you, Miss Marlene, I've seen that you have provided people with content, with ideas. I witnessed that. So you cannot say that I'm making it up. And they grab it, they run with it, and then they distance themselves from you because now they are in the place where they think they are supposed to be. But if it wasn't for you, they would have never been there to begin with. You know what I mean? Like not you specifically, but what I'm saying is we're giving those examples that when they use you in that way, it's really sad because what they gonna rip off of the benefit of your company helping them do this is they gonna attract the people that they deserve, not the people that you were bringing to them. And do
Mhm.
I make myself clear? Like kind of like I'm not sure.
Yeah, you make yourself clear, all right.
Okay, good.
Because one thing that I have to say, Miss Nexty, is, you know, a lot of people don't talk about it as content creators, but it gets to be very exhausting coming up with new, fresh ideas, titles, topics, whatever. And then when you see somebody comes and they just rip off your whole title, or they take a saying, or they do something and they switch like one or two words, it's infuriating. Because I can say for myself, I can't speak for any other content creator, but for myself, a lot of the things that I talk about is things that I have gone through, is things that I take notes from my journal when I was in therapy, or something that I went through, something in my life, and I am opening up and, sharing that with my audience. And then when someone just comes and just, just snatches it and takes it away, it's very irritating. But I'll tell you, Miss Nexie, what's more irritating to me than someone taking it is someone taking your content and they don't even say it right.
Yes, they don't even go through it the right way because they haven't lived it, and that is the whole point. Like, remember when I used to tell you the beef, the beefing sector of this app eventually is going to be non-existent, and eventually it's not going to create that much, traffic, because the world as it is, the last thing we want is to have, an entire channel that it's actually harboring people like that, right? That's the last thing you want to be associated with something like that. So remember I said that when we first met a few
Yeah.
years back. I can't believe it's a few years back. And look how it is now. That particular content is not as viewed as it used to be. Now it's more positive content that is coming to light because the creators of this app probably eventually learned that that's not where they wanted to go with this. It was a good app, and the last thing you want is to be associated with something that foul.
You know,
So
messy.
yes, yes. And so even though you get people sometimes that are not in their right mind and that are not, that shouldn't be probably creating content because, um, not that I want to stop them, but because I don't want them to be humiliated or looked down upon because of the content they creating. I'm sorry, even though they are in this app, they're not being paid in a sense to come and create that type of content.
Yep. And what one thing that I don't like about the drama that starts is when you find yourself involved in drama. Like, people will add you into something and you have done nothing. Like, you're just over in your little corner of this YouTube space, minding your business, making your videos, going live, and I feel like you have not made it as a content creator until someone adds you, like in a rage, talking about all kinds of foolishness about you. And you're like, what? And
When did
usually
I do that?
people, yeah, it's like, what is this about? And it's crazy because when I have been added, Miss Nexie, it's usually the people that I've supported. I've helped them. I try to give them advice. I'm being supportive, so it kind of comes out from left field. Like, what are you talking about? I've been helping you on another app, in the background, saying, hey, do this, use this app, download this, here's how you edit, and then it's like someone stabs you in the back.
Hmm. Exactly. And again, I have said it from the very beginning. I do not support content I do not believe in. I'm a peaceful person. I'm not someone that likes to be, I don't even like gossip, Miss Marlene. I really don't. Even in my family, they know. If they're gonna gossip about someone, the first thing I said, nah, nope, not me. Oh yeah, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And they know that I don't like that because I don't think that is healthy for a family to have, this gossips going around. So I don't like that. So the last thing I'm gonna do is support a content that I don't believe in. I don't believe in people beefing. I don't believe in people outing other people's personal, life, putting personal pictures of that person on the screen, intimate photos, of this person, putting their faces or their kids, you know what I mean? Putting their addresses and stuff like that. So I don't believe on any of that. So content that I don't believe in, I don't support. And yeah, people can criticize and say, oh my God, who does she think she is? But I am my own person. So I only gonna support people that are doing a positive thing on YouTube.
Yeah, I agree with that, Miss Nexty, because a lot of people don't understand, just because you don't say things that is messy or you don't come at people, it doesn't mean you don't hear the things that people say. You know how
Mm-hmm.
many things people have said about me. And yes, some of it is true and some of it is lies. Just because you don't respond to things, it doesn't mean you don't have you don't have some ideas about it. You don't have some
Or you
thoughts.
don't have a backbone.
Yeah, you
You
don't have a
do.
backbone. Like, it doesn't mean, like, when people say things about me, for instance, it doesn't mean I don't have something I want to say back. But I always say, if you lower yourself to,
Mm-hmm.
respond to everything that somebody says, other people will be like, well, you're just like them.
Exactly.
My I was raised that way, that there's certain things that people will say, it's just not even worth it, because the people who know you, who know your character and what you're about, they would never believe that. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's like, and even if that is true, that something is done, like, I wouldn't just go and sign on to this app and ranting and raging about this, because let me tell you something, Miss Nexie, I have found myself on that, all upset, all in my feelings about something that other people have allegedly said that somebody did. And then when I have a conversation with the individual, there's a lot of details that have been left out. They're only telling you
Mm-hmm.
one side of the story.
Another thing. Yeah, exactly. Or you know what? Another thing is, I have been on a couple of different platforms, right? And I have a dear friend of mine who I've known for a very long time that has a channel here on YouTube, and I used to get on her app, I mean on her platform all the time. I was always invited. But the thing that I noticed that, when people wanted me to get a reaction from me by insulting me or by going against what I was saying, or kind of like taunting me on the live to get a reaction from me, I will never go there because that's not who I am. If I'm gonna say something to you, I'm gonna say it to your face. And I mean, if I cannot see you, I'm gonna call you, and you're gonna get an earful from me. But I'm not gonna do that on an app in a platform that is not even mine. So I used to get taunted a lot, and there were, a couple of people, and I think one person, but there was a couple of people that will go. If I said left, they will say, "What, really left? No, I will go right. I mean, what are you talking about?" not left. And or I will say something, and on the live they will say, "Who the is this person? Why is she talking about that?" And the host will say, "Hey, she's my friend. I invited her up here, so Oh, okay." And so they will try to do things like that to get a reaction, and again, go against what I was just saying, or say something like, "Well, you don't know because you're not in that situation, so how do you know how you will react?" And trying to get me to say, you know, get upset or something. And I always try to, because again, I always try to go there with a positive message, nothing negative, supporting people, nothing that it's gonna bring, shame or something to the host. So I will just either stay quiet or go around and answer somebody else's question or comment on somebody else's comment that was talking at the moment. Or it was to the point where this person, when I was talking, when the host will give me, the time for me to talk, this person will go on top of me, unmute herself, and either make some noise in the back or go on top of what I was saying. And then the host had to go back and say, "Hey, wait, she's talking right now." Right? And just to get a reaction, but I never did because that's not who I am. So if I'm saying I'm not that type of person, but then Miss Marlene, you find me in another app beefing, are you going to believe that that's not who I am?
Mm-hmm.
No,
I
right? So that's why it's. Oh, I'm sorry. Go on, Miss Marlene. I'm sorry.
oh, I was gonna let you finish, and then I'll say what I'm gonna say.
Oh, okay. No, yeah. So, if I go on in another place and start beefing in another channel, and then I come back to you and try to, give all the positive, the 411 positives here, are your, because we all visit different people, right? We go to different channels and we see familiar people. And then if I come to you, they're not going to believe that what I'm saying because I'm doing one thing on this channel and I'm doing another on yours.
There's no consistency.
hmm The same
Yep.
goes with content creation, Miss Marlene. The same goes, and that's something why when I come to you, and I've been following you for a while now, and it's because the content that you create is pretty much exactly as you say. I'm here to inspire. I'm
Mm-hmm.
here to promote, personal change, personal growth. I'm here to promote therapy. What it did for me, not for you to go get it if you don't want to. I'm here to promote it in the way that it changed me. So when you are staying at the same pace. You're there. You still do the same thing. We go over topics that are important. We're not criticizing anyone. We're just saying the experiences that we have had. If this is the way they want to be, then that's fine. But there's no room for them on our table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's one of the things that I want to talk about for a little bit. Um, I do think that there should be some YouTube etiquette when it comes to content creators. And just about everybody. I think to be on this app, you have to be at least 18 years old. I think so, or you have to have a kids, channel. And
hmm
because
Yeah.
we're all adults, of course, we're not going to agree with everything that somebody says. But there's a thing called agree to disagree. If you don't like somebody's content, there's a lot of things
hmm
that you can do. You can leave the chat, leave the video.
hmm
You can unsubscribe to somebody. There's lots of things that we can do, but what I don't understand that makes no sense, people will be in your live complaining about your content or complaining on your video or your shorts or whatever, and that how much they don't like it and that's ugly or that's stupid and that doesn't make sense. It's like, okay, but you're over here. Who told you to be over here if you don't want to be over here? You know, we're all free moral agents. It's like, come on.
Yes, yes. And Miss Marlene, I'm glad you said that because I was following a case, and this person was They were covering the entire case, right? From, the what happened from the very beginning to trials and, sentences and everything, right? It's a very important case to me. So I'm following this. And, this person has a lot of followers. Okay. They have a lot of followers. And we're over there, talking about, oh my God, I can't believe this just happened. I can't believe those, texts that are coming out in the trial, right? We're doing this, and all of the sudden, Miss Marlene, she has mods, right? The mods are over there trying. We hardly ever see any negativity because the mods are very good. They're very, very good. But I guess they didn't catch this one because we're in the middle of a discussion or something. But there is this comment from this person that says, "Oh my God, you look like the something of a movie. You look like the scary character of this movie." And I was like, what? She was telling, or he, whatever it was telling this to the host, okay? The woman that is hosting this, and you look like so and so character, and your face looks like da 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 character, and and I'm reading this, and I'm like, what? And I told him, I said, this is not the place for you to be if this is the behavior you're going to have in our chat. And then they took the thing out, and then the mods, commented, I'm sorry, I didn't see this, but this is not the place for you to be. And they blocked that person. And I'm thinking, what other than envy makes you do things like that? Because you see how big of a following this person has.
You
You
know what
see
I
how
think?
positive this person is.
Miss Nexie, I honestly believe 100% the more positive you are on this red app is the more negativity that is drawn to you. Because, Miss Nexie, think about the channels that I have. Everything that I talk about is therapy, trauma healing, positivity, motivation, stuff about personal growth. And I've had so many comments that tell me what qualifies you to give motivation, what is your degree in, and why do you think you should be able to tell me, you don't know what you're talking about? And it's one of those things like this. All my channels are informational. You take what you want and discard the rest. I understand that everybody's not going to agree with everything that comes out of my mouth, just like I don't agree with everything that I hear on other content creators' channels. But I don't ever find myself like getting into a keyboard war. Oh, yeah. Oh, you said that. No, that's not the way it is. This is the way. No, I was like, if I know that's not the way it is, I already know what I believe. I already know what the truth is, because especially on this app, Miss Nexty, we've talked about this before. Being a content creator, you cannot go by hearsay when people say what you should do on your YouTube channel. You need to go in the community guidelines of YouTube and read for yourself. We've talked about this. Me and Boss Life Online, we talk about it all the time. And there's a lot of people who will just say, well, this one does it and nothing happens to them, or this one does it, nothing happens to them. And you're like, that's fine. Everyone is free to do what they want. But I am going to go by the community guidelines that I read in black and white,
Ex-
back there.
exactly, because you're using their platform to promote your product. And second, when they say what kind of degrees you have, tell them I have the degree of living my life, which is what I'm talking about. So I am well versed on my life experience, and therefore I have the right to say it if I want to. See, don't get me going, Miss
Yeah,
Marlene. Don't get me going.
I know. Well, what I told them, I said, actually, I do have a certification in life coaching. Actually, I have gone to therapy. Actually, I spent 7 years in therapy
Exactly.
working on myself and
Uh-huh.
crying my eyes out and checking myself and doing a lot of trauma healing and fixing wounds from the past so that I can be the woman that I am today. So, yeah, that does qualify me. What have you done on to work on yourself?
Yeah.
And And that's the crazy part, I think, Miss Nexie, is a lot of people who have so much things to say about you and your life and what you're doing. It's all just a
Y- y-
reflection of their insecurities.
Yes, it's a reflection of them. It's a reflection of who they are. And that is the thing. See, for me, when you and I talk about therapy and the benefits and how much better our life is, we're not saying it so that you guys can go and spend all this money on therapy because we're saying it. No, we're telling you the experience we had, what it did for us. A lot of people say therapy is not for everybody, right? And I agree with that. Therapy is not for everyone, but it is for me. And in your channel, what we talk about is our experience with it. We don't talk about anybody else's, and we're not telling people here the number so you can call my therapist, so you can make an appointment, right? We're talking about how much of a difference it made in our lives, how much happier we are to be able to deal with our demons, to be able to come out at the other end of a very long and painful existence. So when people say what kind of degrees you have, or who are you to say this, well, I'm talking about my life, so the best person to talk about that, it's me. So that degree that I have is living my life. I graduated first. I graduated with honors on that end. I have my cap and gown from graduation, right? I have a degree from my therapist that says cuckoo needs cocoa puffs. Yes, I graduated with that degree of honors because I am the one talking about me. I'm not talking about what it, therapy does to other people. And the only thing I do tell people when they say therapy is not for me, I always tell people, you know what? That's what I used to believe until I gave it a chance. Because therapy is not easy. It's not for the weak of heart. Therapy is
Mhm.
hard.
You know,
It's
Miss
something that you're gonna expose your insights. You're gonna expose yourself to somebody else, and you don't want to go there because you don't want to deal with that. But I thought in the beginning it's not gonna work for me. It's not for me.
Miss Nexie, I thought this is how warped I was. Oh, I we got another person that just came in here. Hi, Manifest Reality. How are you doing? Welcome.
Hi, manifest.
Yeah, so I remember when I first went to therapy, Miss Nexie, this will show you how immature I was and all of those things. When I started therapy years ago, my thing is I went to therapy because I said I needed to fix my siblings because they're the ones that need help. I went
They
there
were
so
the
I could
problem in your life.
them.
And again, this is the experience, and going through that, you start going back and laughing at what your idea of therapy was. Because I, for once, I told you, I went in there. It wasn't for me, okay? Because my sister had already, my older sister had told me, she brought me to therapy once, and I said, I don't want to, or I don't like it, or whatever. And I quit when I was younger. But when I went, I didn't go because I was seeking it. I went because it was part of my degree. We had to go through therapy for a year. But I went there so that I could talk to my teacher. We're gonna have lunch. We're gonna have like a great time. I didn't think I was gonna get therapy until he said, "What are you doing? We're here for therapy." I'm like, yeah. Do you want, an espresso next time or something? You want a donut?
See,
What do you want me to bring? Did I bring the wrong coffee?
Manifest Reality says many say that never looking at self first is certainly hard to accept. And you know what?
Mm,
When I first went to therapy, I Miss Nexie, all I did, I think probably for like a year, is just look at my therapist like they were crazy, like whatever, like you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, yeah, actually I have. You see that degree on the wall and my training. Actually I do. But I, when someone tells you something and it's the hard truth about yourself, we all have, things about ourselves that is less than desirable. But, the point is when you get to that space of you love people in your life, whoever that is. It could be a spouse, it's a boyfriend, it's a girlfriend, it's your relatives, your children, it's whoever, it's a friend, and don't want to you want to stop the behaviors that you have. And I didn't know how to do that, growing up in a very dysfunctional existence, very dysfunctional family, and you didn't have the right tools, and all you knew was, ignoring things, sweeping it under the rug. If somebody confronts you, just lie about it. It doesn't matter, and they don't need to know, just cover it up and smooth it over. It'll be fine. But when you ignore the problems as an adult, you make more problems. And if you don't deal with your childhood trauma or the things that happened to you in your early adulthood, it affects all of your relationships. I'm just speaking for myself.
Mhm.
That's my view. Until I started working on myself, I didn't know how to be complete things on a job. I was just like all over the place. Like I start here, I do this. Therapy taught me how to not be a procrastinator, to accomplish one task at a time. It taught me how to communicate without anger, without, no jabs at anybody. You just tell people what it is and then you move along. And I didn't understand that that was always the reason why I would start a job and then I quit it and do this. And it's always everybody. And that used to be me, Miss Nexie, all the time. Everybody's against me. Why do people hate me?
Yeah.
Actually, actually, when my therapist says, no, honey, she says, no, honey, you hate yourself. I was like, I can't stand you.
Yeah. Again, Miss Marlene, people can criticize your content. They can say, they can ask you for degrees and whatever, but those are people that haven't worked on themselves, that they don't know who they are. See, for me, therapy actually allowed me to become the person that I was meant to be, right? And so for me, for people, if someone thinks that by, insulting me on a live, if I'm on the panel, or on a chat, if I'm on the chat insulting me or trying to rile me up because they're saying negative things, or they're going against me, if they think that that is going to provoke something else, the real me coming out, they're wrong. The real me is there. That's me. I don't go along with people when they're doing their crazy, they're yelling or they're screaming or they're fighting. I'm not that type of person. I'm not. So, they probably think that we are phony and fake or whatever, but no, this is who I am. My family knows that too, that this is who I am. I'm not going to be yelling back and forth. I'm not, even my children growing up, I wasn't the type of mom that was going to get all up in their faces or yell at them or hit them or whatever or disrespect them in any way. I wasn't. And I didn't allow them to do that to me or even raise their voice because I didn't do it to them. So I always, I'm always this person. So when people say, who do you think you are? Or what do you think you are? Or what kind of degrees you have? The only thing I can say is that I have the degree of life that I have lived and the experiences that have made me who I am, and the years of therapy that I had to take to become who I was always meant to be. So no matter what you do, how you criticize me, you don't like my content, you don't like me in this person's content, that's your problem because she invited me here or he invited me up here, not you. So if you don't like when I'm up there, don't show up. As long as that content creator doesn't have a problem with me, then hey, that's all I need.
Exactly. Exactly, Miss Nexie. And this comment I wanted to highlight from Manifest Reality. Someone attempted to drag me to the hills, not realizing what they were really doing. and what was really going on was with themselves and blaming others. That's a projection. And I found that so
Mhm.
many people on this red app love to drag people. They love to project their
Mhm.
fears and their insecurities and their doubts. They don't know that person. The majority of people that we follow on this app, you don't know them in real life. Like, you haven't had a conversation outside of their content to really know all of the things surrounding them, all of those things. So, we really have to not give, so much power over to what other people are saying about us. And I'm grateful that I have people that I am friends with on this app and also off this app that will check me sometimes, because it's easy to come on this app screaming, oh, and who do you think you are? And all of that stuff. But, that's not even worth it. Those people that have so much negativity to say about you, you do not have to rationalize and justify and try to get people to know your side of it. It is what it is. Sometimes you're going to have little, tiffs with people, and people will say things, because it's happened to me, Miss Nexie. I have been in somebody else's live stream, and in the background, I was getting ready for work, and I saw somebody drop in the comments talking about me. And I was like,
You're famous.
and I was like, boy, I said, boy, people are so messy. And then I dropped out in the comments. I was like, what do you have to say about me? And then the content creator was like, oh no. So I don't like to do that. But, it depends on the day. Some days I'm feeling froggy. Most of the time I can let things go, but then there's a person that I already have a little, issue with. So you know how it is, Miss Nexty, when it's somebody you really don't care for that much already.
Yes.
If they do one little thing, you're like, what? You're
Yes.
like, okay, I'm ready. Come on, let's go.
You want to do this today? It's you picked the right day. No,
I
but
really want
again,
to
Miss
do this
Marlene.
here now in front of all these people. Okay. But the
Let's do this.
the crazy part about it, Miss Nexty, is that all these people who have all of these ideas about you and the lies that they spread about you, what it is that some people unfortunately are very
Hmm.
miserable individuals. They're very lonely. They don't have healthy relationships, no matter what they're portraying. No matter how much they say, "Oh, I'm so happy in my relationship. I'm so happy with my friends. I have the best life ever." But yet, all they do is drag other people down. A person who really loves themselves and is in a state of perpetual peace, they don't do things like that, because when you're at peace,
Oh,
you
they
only
don't.
want to give peace.
You guard that piece, and that's again, that's what I was trying to tell you earlier. Is that when you come into into this, I don't my kids, they're grown, but they're not into social media a lot, which I'm very grateful for that because I will not like to see um things. But anyway, they're not into social media. They follow certain people and whatever, but they're not content creators. And so, but the things that they follow, is pretty much kind of like me, positive things. And not that I have told them only follow positive things, right? But that's in the type of space that they're in. They are in a space where they only follow things that they believe in. They follow positive things. They love cooking. One of my kids loves cooking, so that's what they follow. The other one loves games and stuff, and that's what he follows, right? But the one thing I appreciate about that is that they're not into any of this beefing things. They're not into anyone, being disrespectful or I witnessed something in the beginning of this because I've been on YouTube since the very beginning, since YouTube became YouTube. again, not as a content creator, just as a follower. But I used to see so many fights and so many people outing their partners or their significant others and their private life and their dirty laundry, and it was so sad because then the other person will do it on their end, right? And then you find yourself like, okay, I used to follow this person because I like their content. Now what do? They're bringing all of this into what I used to like, so now you have to leave. So I like that people can choose what they want, right? And that there is sectors. I like that. There's sectors. But when the people that are not sure what they like or what they want to follow um, come from a beefing sector and try to bring it to a peaceful sector, I think that that's where when the problems sometimes, arise when they begin, because they
Well,
try
Miss
to
Next,
put one person against the other. Or when they
you know,
see two good content creators getting along, they try to get in between them because they want to be they they don't want to create content with others. They just want this other content creator for themselves. So I feel that there's a lot of jealousy
mhm.
in certain people that do content in this app. I don't know if you agree with me, but I feel that there is a lot of jealousy, a lot of envy.
Yes, I feel jealousy, envy, manipulation, lies. And Miss Nexty, I'm not trying to take it to a negative tone, but there's a lot of people on this app that have some mental illness that has not been diagnosed.
Yeah, they have mental illness. Yeah, man, they shouldn't be here. Yeah, I have witnessed it. We have witnessed them, Miss Marlene. We have witnessed certain things, and we feel sad because we like this person's, these people, right? Because there've been more than one, and we always think like they shouldn't be here. They shouldn't be creating content yet. They should take care of their mental health first.
Mhm.
But then they tell you this is how I deal in real life. Yeah, but real life is not the same as putting your 2 cents or your content in a platform that goes worldwide, that everybody can watch, that everybody can save, that everybody can, you know what I mean? Can laugh
Yeah.
at and can out you to the world. Like it's different if you're in real life that way, then that's fine. But don't put it in a platform where it's gonna go viral.
And Miss Nexty, the funny part about social media is that you never know, like jobs or relatives, friends, even spouse, significant other will go back and watch something, and people will come on here like angry at their sibling, angry at their kids, angry at whoever it is, and calling out names and doing all kinds of things, giving out their personal information, talking about things that's happening in the privacy of people's homes, and that person does not know it. And I'm grateful now, Miss Nexty, that doing things like that now is illegal. Calling people's
Yes.
names, putting addresses. I know that it still happens. It's happening on this app. We see it all the time. But now there are court cases where people are
Yeah.
being, having to go to court because of
You
what
can
they.
legally do something.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, it should have always been like that. I know that, this country is based on freedom of speech, right? And yeah, you can speak your mind when it comes to you. You can say whatever you want. You can do this, but don't speak your mind when it comes to somebody else because you don't know the state of mind that person is in. You don't know what kind of harm you're going to cause to that other person. So you have to be careful on how you interpret the, freedom of speech kind of thing. Because, if you're gonna start throwing out names and problems and families and people that you don't know what state of mind they're in, you can cause a lot of, mental health injuries and stuff like that. So you have to be very careful. But the thing is that I noticed that a lot of people that are not in peace with themselves, that are not in the right place, and they see you put together, doing good content, trying to, be that motivation for someone that needs it when you didn't have it growing up, right? But you're trying to do that for someone now, motivating people and stuff. I see that people, when they're not in the right state of mind, they hate this type of content because it's not somewhere they're at. It's not where they would love to be there, but they're not there yet. So they criticize and they point fingers and they try to get you out of your normal zone, because this is what we are normally. They try to get you out of there so they can say, look, you see, I told you she wasn't that. I told you she was lying on her app. I told you blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, for me, going into somebody else's content creations and criticizing I feel it that I'll be doing a disservice to that person because I'm not a content creator. So how dare I criticize people that are actually creating content, regardless of what it is, as long as it's not on the beefing side, right? Because that I do not promote. But
Yeah.
if you're creating content, Geo, which is another person that I follow and love very much, she's creating content. And other people that I follow are creating. How dare I criticize the content they're creating, because only they know what they have to create, what calls to them to create. So I'm nobody if I'm not a content creator. Have the right to criticize someone that is actually putting their time, their effort, and they're doing the work.
Yes. And this is
I
a
have no
thing.
right.
I know, but Miss Nexie, but it's happening every day. There, like, there are some people now, I'm not saying anything to be rude, and I hope that this is not offensive to anybody, but people will take the things that happens on social media and take it into their real life. I mean, people will be like in their feelings, like literally crying their eyes out about what somebody has said on social media. I don't know. I don't know, Miss Nexie. Maybe I'm just tough skin. I got like alligator skin or something. But the things that people will say about me on social media, it's like these people aren't paying my bills. They don't know my backstory. They don't know the things I'm dealing with and going through. And.
Hmm.
So, you have to take things like with a grain of salt. Like, okay, I know that people say things and it can be irritating or rude and all of those things, but um the people that I worry about the most is those who have a very fragile mental health. And I've seen it actually on this app. And I wish that I never saw it, but early back in like 2007, 2009, somebody went live talking about what somebody said about them and unalived themselves right live on YouTube. uh, it's just,
Oh my God, that's terrible.
of course it got, taken down and everything because people were reporting it and stuff and talking about it. But, we have to be careful about the things that we say. And I get it. Like sometimes, like there are some things like if a person is kidding around and it depends on what the content is about. There are certain content that, yeah, if the person's kidding around and you're laughing, of course, join in. But if somebody's talking about a very important matter, like a DV situation, SA, this and this, like really heavyweight topics, and then somebody comes in and says things like, oh, they asked for it or they deserve that, and if they didn't wear that, that wouldn't have happened to them. And it's like, how dare you, somebody
Oh,
being
yes.
vulnerable. It's like the nerve of people. It's like, do you know that, that could happen to your own mother or your own sister or even you? Like, nobody is immune from things happening to them, and people say, oh, well, you should have left then. And it's like, you're not in their shoes. Anybody
Hmm.
could be in a situation to where they get, essayed or they get DV'd. And it's not their fault. And people need to stop,
Yeah.
you know, putting more insecurities in people and giving people more mental health issues, you know, blaming themselves. It's not cool. And
And again, it's something that you have to be very careful um, when you're listening to someone. It's not easy to talk about these issues, right? It's not easy to bare your soul like that in front of others, even if it's behind an avatar. It's not easy because it's your life. It's not something that you do often, and it's probably this person probably put a lot of thought into creating this and saying what he was supposed to say, and for someone to attack them more than they already have been. I think that's something. It speaks more to the people the person that made those comments. It speaks more to how vile they are. Because if you can laugh, or if you can accuse a victim of asking for whatever it is that happened to them, then the problem is not the victim, it's you.
yeah.
There's something wrong with you. Because I don't care. A lot of people, I know that sometimes we do laugh when, you and I may laugh at certain things that happened to us when we were little, as far as, when mom or dad will get upset and they will chase us around, right?
Mhm.
Trying to, whip us or whatever, or get on our case for whatever. We can say it laughing now because we have already healed from those wounds. That doesn't mean that somebody else is still not healed. That doesn't mean that that person is not going to get hurt, right? So that's why we always say we're making sure that we're like, okay, we're laughing now, but we already healed ourselves, and we are always very good at that, Miss Marlene,
Yeah.
so
I
that
always
that person
mean
doesn't feel attacked or doesn't feel laughed at, and he feels that, hey, you can always conquer those fears, you can always heal from that wound. You just have to do the work, just have to do whatever it takes. So when people come and bear their soul like that, and tell you this is what happened to me, and it's something that is, it put me down for a very long time. It kept me from being who I was meant to be, because I was dealing with that. Because when people, some kids, you can spank them, and they don't scar. They don't have anything. Nothing happens to them. They go on and do great things with their lives, and nothing happens. But not everybody is like that.
Miss
A
Nancy,
certain
are you
word.
talking about me?
Everybody. What I'm trying to say is that everybody's different. What doesn't what doesn't hurt you, it might make a huge difference in somebody else's life. So when people criticize content creators that are actually trying to tell you, look, I've been there, I know what you're going through, or what you went through, because I had a similar situation, and this is where I'm at now after years of working on me. When people are criticizing this content, I feel this because they haven't experienced what
Yeah.
other people have experienced and what we have gone through. So they criticize it because they cannot relate, and they make fun of it because nothing affects, according to them, nothing has affected them,
Mhm.
right?
Oh,
And they feel
oh,
it's
Miss
funny.
Nexie. Oh, Miss Nexie, the one that, I mean, it really boils my blood when, okay, you're talking about something really serious, and somebody will come in and say, "Oh, nothing like that has ever happened to me. I've only ever had a positive life, and my family, oh, we were all loving, and it was hugs and kisses." And I'm like, who are you trying to fool? There's absolutely nobody that came from a perfect family that never used
Well,
to have dysfunction.
well, yeah. I
Every
mean, you can come
has
from a dysfunctional
dysfunction.
family. Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
except, you can come from a dysfunctional family and be as perfect as I am. Yeah, but not everybody is like me, Miss Marlene. Nobody is
Yeah.
perfection in the flesh as I
Yeah.
am.
Not,
You
not
know that.
everybody's like Miss Nexie, I have to admit
I,
that.
I know
I,
my father's probably looking at me from heaven. He's probably giving me the side eye perfection. Really?
I wanted to
He's probably telling God, can you believe her?
yeah, I wanted to highlight this comment from Manifest Reality. A lot of people have this thing about talking about, young people and stuff. And they will do some things that, I feel like is really unhealthy. I'm trying to find the comment. Oh, many go as far as with mistreating family and minors illegally. Like the things
Hmm.
that I have heard, the things that I have seen, and me and Miss Nexie, coming from, seeing and doing certain things in our lives, we've seen a lot when it comes to the way, people have been treated, adults, and also have kids have been treated, and it's just a lot that happens, trauma, and the trauma is not just to the family and the minor. There's a lot of trauma that a lot of people don't talk about is the people who are the caregivers and the employees that have to see this and process it. It does do things to you, but you have to remain as a professional. But it's a lot to deal with.
Hmm. It's a lot, and the thing is, like when you see people that again, everybody has the right to create their own content and have their own channels, whatever it is that they do. But I feel that if criticizing it or um, trying to minimize the impact that they're probably making on somebody else, I think that's a disadvantage for the person that is creating the content because it may not help you, but it can help somebody else that can relate to the content creator, right? It can relate to a topic that he or she covered. As I said previously, a lot of people have, my sons, they're gamers. They love gaming, and I understand nothing about their world. I see them playing. I don't know what they're doing. I get a headache from it, but that's what they like. So I feel that those people that are content creators when it comes to games, they know what they're creating because they are gamers. So we have no right to criticize, oh, that's all you're doing? Oh, okay, whatever. So what's the big deal on that? Well, the big deal on that is that somebody else can relate. And probably instead of going out at night, partying, whatever, they can probably stay and watch this content and not get into some trouble on the streets, right? So allow them to have their platform, whatever way they want to have it with whatever content. Just don't criticize whoever is making something different than you are because it's not right. And stop beef because that's the thing is that they criticize Miss Marlene and they don't say it to the person that is criticizing. They go on different platforms and say it to everybody else. And they're talking about you.
Yeah, they
Because I've
all
seen some people make comments, and I'm like, oh, that person is talking about so and so because she was talking about that the other day. Oh, so you're talking about so and so.
yeah. There's one thing about this red app. You can be in the bushes and get a whole lot of tea, Miss Nexie. And you're like,
Oh
ooh,
yes, I know.
ooh, ooh. The tea, and I'd be like, the tea is hot this morning. And I
And
just,
I wanted an iced
that's
tea.
none of my business. That's none of my business. But I did want to say this, that um what Miss Manifest Reality is saying. They like to dox, which is illegal, but they do it because they have no other way, and they want to make others feel threatened. So they just go on and just do it. And people don't understand the harm that comes from like the things that people do. I have seen people go and a person is live and they will get the police to knock in their door,
Yeah,
and
I've
they're
seen that
doing
before.
nothing but doing a live stream, and they'll say like kiddos are in danger, they'll call CPS or whatever it's called, where you come from, like Child Protective Services, about certain things and make these allegations, and none of it is true. You know how
Hmm.
dangerous that's such a dangerous game that people will play on this app. It's a very
And
dangerous
and
game.
and that and Miss Marlene, and that's why we're saying some people have mental illnesses that they haven't treated and do things like this, and it proves you again, and stamps your belief that there's something wrong with that person, because a so-called normal person wouldn't do that to somebody else. A healed person wouldn't go there because you know the danger. They can take their children away. This person that police is knocking on can get unalive by mistake because of the things that they're doing. So this is when you see that they're not, in the right state of mind, because a mature, well-rounded person wouldn't do that to somebody else just because they don't like them, or just because this person made a comment in their, live that they didn't approve of. They're going to make negative comments, they're going to make positive comments. As long as those negative comments, you don't take them because they don't apply to you, then who cares, right? Let him
Like,
go. Who cares?
Miss Nexie, something that I always say all the time, and it's a hot topic for me. It gets me like really in my feelings about it, and that's the topic of people commenting on another gender. It's like a woman saying how a man should be, and a man saying how a woman should be, and it's like, wait a minute, when have you ever, as a woman, been a man, and vice versa? How do you feel that you know what that feels like? You have never walked a day in their shoes. You have never been through the things that they have been through. You never had their struggle. You don't know. Yet maybe you have dealt with some people that have showed up with negativity, drama, all kinds of wrong things. Maybe they had horrible behaviors, but the people who put all of a gender into a category, saying women do this or men do that, that just shows how limited people's bandwidth is some people's minds is very limited and confined, because they feel that just because of what they've experienced, they believe that everybody has experienced that. And I can say that coming off of that, Miss Nexie, I used to be one of those people all the time that I used to hate people, that look just like me, Miss Nexie, because of my unresolved issues, because of
Mm,
my, you know, things. But when I learned to work on me and fix me, I found out that it was not all of certain race, all of certain people, but it
mhm,
was the people who had made a choice to stay that way. There's a lot of people who are
mhm.
adults, but they never mature.
There you go. Another thing that bothers me, Miss Marlene, very much, is when people are and again, maybe it's something that, because I'm not a content creator, I guess that's probably why it bothers me. But it bothers me that, when you choose a certain topic, it's because it's calling on you, right? This is what I want to do today. I've heard that from you. This is what I want to. I don't know. Today I had the feeling that I had to say this today, right? I don't like when people um, criticize either the titles or the content or whatever. It's like, who are you? Like, they criticize what this person is talking about, right? Or covering about. I don't like it because you don't know the reason why she chose or he chose this topic today. You don't know what she was going through. You don't know why. this makes sense for her or him, right? Another thing is when they ask, like you said earlier, what degrees or what education you have to be talking about, or what titles you get to be talking about this thing. And I'm gonna probably step on a lot of toes, but school is not for everybody, Miss Marlene. Education is not for everyone. Not everyone wants to be, in a classroom all day long for years and years, right? But we have the privy of having books written by scholars that we can learn from. We have the school of life as well, right? That we can learn from. So when somebody questions your choice of topic or your choice of naming for a certain live or the reason why you're, doing content, it bothers me that they are asking you what kind of degrees you have. You don't have to have one. If you have, the school of life, that on itself qualifies you for it because you can talk about your experiences.
Hmm.
You don't have to have a 5-year degree, 4-year degree, 10-year degree to be able to create positive content. You can do it without a degree because you have your own experiences to talk about
Yep,
without
that's
stepping on anybody else's toes.
and that's why I said,
So don't
I come
criticize.
exactly, Miss Nexty, and that's why I say I come from the school of hard knocks. That's what qualifies me. I was like,
Exactly. You know,
people
watch it.
people have no idea, Miss Nexty, the things that people have overcome in their life, the challenges that
Hmm.
people have faced. And because I'm just going to be honest, there was time period of time in my life where I was trying not to be here. I did everything to try to take myself out of it. And whatever it is that that you believe in, I believe that's what saved me, because I did everything possible, took substances, put myself in danger, did all kinds of crazy stunts and crazy stuff. But it wasn't my time, because I believe 100%, Miss Nexie, I was saved because I needed to be alive to say this, and this happened to me. And I got therapy and I worked on myself and I learned how to be a better person. And I learned that I wasn't always right. I learned to apologize. I learned that there are sometimes I don't know things, and that's okay, and to give people their space. It's a lot of things that I know I have learned and improved and experienced personal development, because I think there's a lot of people who, when they learn something and they know that they were wrong, they'll never go back and recant and say, you know what? When I said this, and this, I was wrong for that, and I'm sorry. You know
Hmm.
what I mean?
They don't like to eat humble pie, and we have had about 100,000 pies of that. So so we can be here. We have had 100,000 pieces of it. It's very difficult to actually apologize for something or to someone that you have disrespected or insulted. I think it takes a certain degree of maturity to do that. And again, I have noticed people that have disrespected, a content creator. I have disrespected them in other ways on other platforms, and they go back to that content creator on their platform, and they don't apologize. They don't say, "Hey, I'm sorry that I did that," or "I'm sorry that I went there," or "I'm sorry that I knew that that person was stealing something from you and I said nothing." Right?
Hmm.
Again, it takes a certain level of maturity, and for me, I cannot even begin to understand what it takes to be a content creator. I know that there's a lot of time put into it, which is why for me I don't criticize it, because only God knows how long you guys prepare for all of this. I don't have the patience. I don't, or the time. So I collaborate with you. I collaborate maybe with some other people, but it's just on their time. I just show up so I can look pretty, but nothing else.
Oh, Miss Nexty, I forgot to say, I did type it in the chat, but I forgot to give the shout out. Realist One here in the building. Welcome, Realist.
Hi, realist.
Yeah, Miss
Yeah,
Nexty,
and you know, again, everybody, and that's another content creator, Miss Marlene, that I knew nothing about, realist or his content. But as you go and you listen, you start learning of, you know, of what it is about, and you're like, oh, I didn't know that about that person. Oh wow, I didn't know that this is the type of thing that he covers. It's nothing that you know, I don't follow that type of, you know, music and stuff like that, or the things that he does, but you learn to appreciate the time and the effort that he puts to create his content. So when people maybe criticize or something, you know, again, we go back to, are you the one putting all that time and effort to come up with all of that? No, then don't criticize. None of your
exactly.
business.
Exactly, Miss Nexty, because there's some things that I listen to on content creators and I am not informed because either, that's not, the music, that's not the whatever it is, the content that they are creating. I don't really know about it, but I find so much information. Like I get so much
Uh-huh.
information from Realist. I get so much information from Boss Life Online because she does affiliate marketing, and even though I don't do that, or
Hmm.
that's not my thing in life, but I also always want to learn from others because it takes time. They have to do research. You think it's easy to make up files and to find clips and to talk about stuff and do voiceovers and give commentary? That's not, no, that's not for the weak of heart. You
No, it's not. That's what I'm
gotta be,
saying. It's
you
not.
gotta have
It's
tough
something that
skin.
you, and it may not impact you in a certain way because it's not something you believe in, or that you follow, right? I mean, not believing, but that's something that you follow, that you know of, but it can impact somebody else that is into that. So when content creators get their little touch up there and pay for their platforms, because you have to pay for this, you know, put their time and effort instead of going out there to, you know, do whatever they have to do. They put their time and effort to create something good that maybe is not for you, but it's for somebody else. If they're not being negative, disrespectful, or anything, then who are you to criticize? And who are you to steal ideas from these people that are actually putting their time and effort in coming up with them,
Miss
right?
Nexie, and that's why I say, Miss Nexie, that it's important for people to, if you see content that you know for sure it was on somebody else's channel first, for sure, and somebody comes up, you can report that video to YouTube. And I feel like a lot of times people will hear stuff and be like, nah, I heard this before, but people don't do anything about it. They just say, oh well, and just click off, or be like, that's crazy. Or like I say, that's whack. I know it's whack. I was like, I know who I heard that from. But when you don't do that, you do not give the power back to the content creator. And one thing that happened to me, Miss Nexty, and this was about 2 years ago, a huge content creator stole my content word for word, verbatim.
I remember. I remember.
I said I was 4 alarm high. This content creator, I had over 700,000 subscribers, and
Hmm.
took my content word for word. And I guess they thought when I went to their live and they went and checked out my content, oh, she's a content creator. She ain't gonna notice nothing. I think she thought she was above it. Then when
Hmm.
I reported it, and when you report, those who you don't know who aren't content creators, when a content creator reports something, and I put the link to the video that they had repeated word for word, and when YouTube goes and looks and they see who said it first, and it is the same, she had to take all the views, and Miss Nexie, she had over 10,000 views on that video. So she lost all those views and all
Mm-hmm.
that revenue.
But it's unfair. Again, it is unfair for it. What, also the people that report, the falsely report you, they create also a lot of problems for you because they're like, she's copying, you're not even copying them, but they're going there because they're envious or whatever it is, or they're beefing with you and they're creating problems for you, right? There's people who do that too, just to mess with somebody else, Miss Marlene, just to mess
Yeah.
with somebody else, just to aggravate them. When YouTube is not just gonna knock them down because you say that, they have to investigate, right?
Hmm.
They have to go there.
Yep.
So when people do this and they think that YouTube is just going to go and take them down because you've reported them, that's not exactly what happens, which is the other side of what you just said. You were in the right because they stole your content. But when people report you and you haven't, they're not just going to take you down because they say so.
Yep.
There's
You have to give
investigations that
proof.
go on.
Mhm. You have to give proof of all those things. And Miss Nexie, we do these topics and talk about stuff like this because I think a lot of people want to say things like that, but sometimes people are, I would say, scared to say it, but there's retaliation for,
Yeah.
speaking up and saying, like, you took my idea. Because then that person
Hmm.
will get out there and say, oh, how dare they talk about me. And there's always going to be the ones that will deny, and they'll lie, and they'll make up stuff, and they'll, it's ridiculous the things that people will do. They will go to so many lengths to prove how right they were and how wrong you are. And they are the ones that are in the wrong. They're the ones that have been messy, nasty, stealing people's stuff, starting stuff. And it's like, and you're just over in your own little space of this app, minding your own business. And
Yep.
that's the part that I hate is when people drop you in stuff and you're not even doing nothing.
Or again, you took care of whatever happened in closed doors. You went straight to the source and say, look, this person has stolen my content. This is my proof. I did it this day, and this person has done it this day. So I want an investigation. You didn't do a 10-hour live about
Mm-mm. I
this
never said
person
it.
and
I
said,
never have even said the content creator's name, and I never
yeah,
will.
I have been. I was once with my other friend. There was this one person who will go on for almost 10 hours, 12 hours, going over the same thing about my friend, on and on and on, and dragging everybody at 10-hour live, Miss Marlene.
Mm.
Yeah.
I
And
know that. So they
we
must
used
have
to
had
laugh.
they had breakfast, lunch, and dinner on a live.
Nighttime. So 7 p.m. to like 7 a.m. and on. Sometimes it was a 12-hour live. So yeah, it was kind of funny because you're thinking like, don't you work? Like how much, like, wow, a 10-hour live on
Time,
something that
huh?
happened. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I always say that well, this is how I look at YouTube, Miss Nexie. YouTube is an avenue, it's a platform. I feel like YouTube is wonderful, but at the same time, there's a lot of there's a lot of dark energy on this app too. Like, you have to be careful who you align yourself with. You got to be careful with who you support. You got to be careful because I've seen people will insert themselves in something like, oh, they did this and they didn't hear it. They were not there. They have no idea, but they will go and drop themselves down in people's comment section, come in people's lives, saying all kinds of stuff, trying to go back and forth with people. They have no facts. They're just believing something that somebody said, and it's a
Mm-hmm.
lie. And you know how disgusting it is when that person finds out that everything that they have found out about the person has been a lie, that they are actually the problem in the equation. It's like, hmm.
Hmm.
So I learned a valuable lesson
Yeah.
next too, because when I first started on this app, going around some people, and I didn't know about sectors and things like that. And I was rocking with somebody, and then they started talking about somebody, and then I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't like them either. I don't like them. Come to find out, the person that I was supporting, that content creator, was the one doing the wrong. So I learned something from that too, that you can
Don't be
support
so
many
quick to
people.
judge.
Yeah, you can support many people, and I found that when you find out that somebody is not who they claim that they are, then I just move around. I don't even reply. I don't even say I'm not coming here
Yeah.
anymore. All I do, I just click off and unsubscribe. Just move along, move
Yeah,
around.
it's as easy as that. It's as easy as that. Unsubscribed, and that's all you don't even get notifications from these people. That's all you
Hmm.
have to do. A lot of times, again, is the state of mind that you're in. A lot of people, they vex you to go there with them. They throw rocks at you. They sometimes use certain parts of your of your sayings or your lives or whatever, and because they want to get more people on their platforms, and they know that sometimes when they have differences with one another, they attract more followers, right? Oh my god, they're beefing or whatever, right? Or they have a problem with one another. When you engage with people like that, and if you're a content creator, you can actually harm your content more than you would if you just ignore it. Just let it go. That person keeps on calling your name. That person keeps on throwing rocks, not mentioning your name, but kind of describing you,
Hmm.
very meticulously describing you. They can go there as long as you don't answer, that's it. But a lot of people are not there. So they go on and on and on, giving these people more content to create, giving these people more followers because they continue to engage on things like that. You don't need to. I'm someone that doesn't use profanity often. You know that, Miss Marlene. I have
Hmm.
told you before, when people use profanity in their lives and they every other word is that, it triggers me. I have said this to you before. It
Hmm.
triggers me in a weird way. It takes me way back. So I don't like that. And the first thing I do is check on the content. And even if I like it, I go to the host and say, you know what, I really don't like that. So I like your content, I'm gonna click it, but I really cannot stay because it triggers me, right? And I have been with people that I follow certain people that they use a lot of profanity, right? But when I'm there or they're on a live that I'm in, they try to minimize it. They're that kind, that beautiful. They're in the right state of mind. They try to minimize. Oops, or they say, "Oops, sorry, I forgot Nexi was here." Or or they apologize because they know it's not. You don't need to use it, right? And you don't need to stop it because of me. But I appreciate the fact that they do that. It's not that I want to be bougie like Miss Marlene. No, 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 no. Oh, we're beefing. We're beefing. We're
Hey.
gonna get a lot of views. We're gonna get a lot of views now. So it's not that I'm like that. It's just that again, it triggers me and it brings me into a space where I don't like to be because it takes me way back to childhood. So I don't like it, and when I tell someone and they continue to do it regardless, then I leave completely because I'm like, then you don't care that I don't like that, right? You don't care that it triggers, so I don't need to be here.
You
I don't
know,
need to be, it's triggering
and
me.
that's one thing, Miss Nexie, that I'll always say. Like, I always allow people to be themselves, and that's why you have to find the people that you like their content, you like them, that they're just being themselves. And I've learned that I can support
Hmm.
people
Yeah,
from
and
that.
and you know what? It's mhm.
Miss Nexie, I learned something about, and this is going to sound messy, but I have, there's certain content creators where I can't even go to their lives when they're live because of the people that come into their live stream when they go live. Because
Mm-hmm.
there is a thing that, how do I say this in the right way? But there are some people who come to their your live streams and they can be very disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
I like the content creator, but I cannot deal with somebody who allows anybody who comes in to be disrespectful to other people in their chat.
And they don't call it
I
out. And they don't
I
call it out. They
have
stay
zero tolerance.
silent.
Yeah.
Yeah, you and I, if we ever see something like that, either you or I will say, hey, no, this is not the right place for you. If you're going to be talking like that, disrespecting, our followers, you can't do that. But one thing, Miss Marlene, before I forget, another thing that bothers me about YouTube and some of the content creators is female or male, when there is followers that come there to try to hook up with them, that are always commenting on their looks, or they're commenting on how sexy their voice is, or commenting on, oh my god, that dress makes you look, or that shirt makes you look so buff. You know what I mean? Like, they're always trying to hook up with people, or
Mhm.
putting comments like that have nothing to do with the topic. I don't like that. That bothers me very much.
Yeah, I don't like it. Okay. And I agree with that too, Miss Nexie. But one thing that I don't like is, okay, Miss Nexie, say you're talking about something, a very important topic, and you're going in. I feel sometimes that people on this Red app, as soon as you start really going into a good topic, you're talking really good about something, somebody will come in and start talking about something all the way in left field that has nothing to do with the topic. I think it's to get you off of
To
the topic.
distract your followers.
Yes.
and
I believe
and to
that.
distract your followers. And that is the thing that I like in this other, like I said, you remember that case I was telling you about, that I will go there and follow. That's the
Mhm.
one thing I like about the mods, because right away when people were talking about something else, they'll be like, hey, that's not what we're here for. That's not what we're talking about. And it wasn't even the host saying this, it was the moderator saying, hey, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about this topic right now, and this is what we're focusing on. So they will bring back the chat and say, okay, if you're not going to be here, then leave. If you're not going to be in the topic, because this is important, maybe not to you, but it's important to somebody else. Be kind.
Yep.
Have some common sense. But again, it's like, your mental health is it's very fragile, right? You have to make sure that you're constantly taking care of it. And for me, whatever triggers me, I try not to go there, because again, I can support what you stand for, I can like where you're going with it, but if it's something that is gonna affect me, it's gonna affect my state of mind, it's gonna bring me back to where I don't want to be at, or I want to go, then I'm not gonna probably be on your live. I'm probably going to go and fast forward certain parts so that I can listen to the topic, but I'm gonna fast forward to the things that can trigger. So I may not be on the live, but I can be, on the rewatch, so that I can still support watching your videos, but it's not going to be the entire thing, because again, it can trigger. And I think that that's the thing that a lot of other people don't get, is that you have to protect your mental health. You have to make sure that you are okay.
Yeah.
You have to
Miss
make
Nexie,
sure that the people you follow and the topics that you follow. Go ahead, Miss Marnie.
I was just gonna say that that's one of the things I have learned. I didn't know some people will think that it's strange, but I know when a topic is triggering me, to like some memory, like maybe a person that I no longer deal with, like it's trying to take me backwards, and I'll find myself like getting upset, and I'll be like, what is going on? And I go, ah, okay, it's taking me
Hmm.
backwards. And I put in too much work into myself. I've invested time, money, energy, healing into myself, that I'm not gonna let any of that take me backwards, because I work too hard.
Hmm.
And I can, and people will think, oh, it's not that serious. No, Miss Nathan, I fought for my life. It is that
Exactly.
serious.
It is serious to you. It is serious to you. And that's the thing that we need to respect. And is that, whatever it is that even if you like I said, you like that person, but the topics take you back to where you don't want to be. Again, you can respect by liking and following the contents that from that person that you think you're gonna be okay with. You don't have to you know, bad mouth them. You don't have to disrespect them in any way because maybe this is the way that they're healing, right? It may not be for you, but it is for them. So you don't have to, how can I put it, minimize what they're doing if it's a topic that you like or it's a content creator that you like. Maybe that topic wasn't for you, but you can still follow. You can still follow them. You can still you know, uh, like their content. You can still do that. Maybe skip some topics that are not for you, but are probably helping this person heal. Like for me, again, I don't like swearing like that. I mean, of course, sometimes we do when we hit ourselves, we're like, oh, crap, or whatever, right? But for me, every other sentence to be like that, I don't like it. Another thing I don't like is when people are talking about um, intimacy, like intimate topics
Oh yeah.
of what they do in their private, quarters. I don't like that. I really don't. I feel that that's a disrespect to the person they're with, even if they're not mentioning them by name. But if you're a content creator and they know your face, they're gonna know who you're with, people that follow you, right? So I don't like when people start talking about things like that. So I don't, again, don't go there. I can do topics that are related to
Intimacy.
intimacy, yeah, but not in depth.
Hmm.
You can touch on certain things but not don't go into the positions and this and the hour. No, don't do that. Now
You
what does it
want
mean?
a tutorial?
You saw I'm zigzagging around because I'm like, I want to touch that because it's nobody's business how you conduct your private life, how you are in the privacy of your own home, and of course, it's nobody's business how your significant other behaves there. So it is unfair because again, they gonna guilty by association, right?
Mhm.
They see you and they're gonna think about, oh, so that's what she does, oh, so that's what she likes, or that's what he likes. I don't like those, so I get away from those topics. And if people start talking about that, I'm like, okay, gotta go down, bye.
Oh, Miss Nancy, you don't want to talk about cracking backs and stuff.
No, ma'am, no, no,
Okay.
no, let's not go there. No, no.
You guys heard it here, Miss Nexie. This is not going to be a sip and chat topic, cracking our backs.
No, fight, fight, fight. We gotta attract more people. No, again, everybody has their own content. You don't have to like it. Okay, you don't have to, but you don't have to criticize it either in a way that it's gonna harm their channel, right? You don't have to, tell other people, oh, don't go to that one. Oh my God, that's horrible. No, everybody can like whatever they like as long as they don't go into your channel and disrespect you and, use your content without permission. Then everybody does what they want. If you don't like it, don't follow it. Simple as that. Just don't
Yeah.
harm others because they're busting their tush creating content.
And Miss Nexie, the funny part that I want to say about this, being a content creator that has multiple channels. What I don't understand, the shade, the comments, the negativity. Like, what is the big deal? Why people are so upset that I have multiple channels? and it's not just me. Other content creators like Geo and a few others that have multiple channels. Like, what is the big deal? Why people are so upset when you have multiple channels? Like, people say, "Oh, but everybody doesn't have multiple channels like Marlene," and it's like, okay.
Yeah, good for them.
I was
But
like,
she
okay,
does. So
okay. So, I was like, what am I literally doing wrong? I'm just minding my own business. You never hear me get on here and say everybody should get
no.
expanded channels like me. I don't do
Oh
that.
no, no. You know what I like when people have multiple channels when they go, "What? You don't work? Is that why you have so many channels? Like, you must not have a job." And you're like, "I work my tail off. Trust me,
No,
I do because I have bills to pay. But
you know
I
the
make
funny
time for my channels."
part is, Miss Nexie, when the people who are talking about, oh, you must not have a job, or you must not have a family, you must have responsibilities. It's Miss Nexie, I wish you could see sometimes what I'm doing in the background when I'm live.
No, I wish you could see me sometimes where I'm at when I'm at work and I have to do the sip and chat. That's what I would like for you to see.
Miss Nexie, sometimes I'll be like, I'll be doing the sip and chat, and then I'll mute. Oh yeah, okay. So next you do this, okay, and come back to it, and then
Yeah. Or wait, they don't know that. Wait a minute. Is she in the morgue? Is that what she's at right now?
yeah, it's like, oh, what was that noise? Yeah.
Is she, is she in the x-ray room? Is she on the CT? Are those CT scans? What is she
I was
doing?
like, what is
Because
that?
you
Is that
have
a
to.
cafeteria? Yeah.
Oh no, I wish it was a cafeteria. It would be funny for me to turn on the camera when I'm down at the morgue.
Oh my! If you did, I mean, I would crack like
You'll
one time I
probably
was
end the
live.
super chat.
Like one time I was live, and there was like somebody was like, because they heard the horn, and I was like, ah. I was like, why do other cars have to be so disrespectful? Nobody knew until that point that I was driving.
Oh
So
my lord.
disrespectful.
No, again, we have to do what we have to do. Having a full time job, being a full time mom, being the sole breadwinner of our house, in charge of everything, right? We have to do what we have to do with the time that we have. They don't know sometimes, Miss Marlene, you with multiple channels, that you have a special someone that has no filter. But you have to filter that because if not, they will hear, "I want this, I want that," or they will hear the music in the background, jumping around, or a seal here and there. You know what I mean? They don't know the things that you have to do to be able to have all of your channels. It's not that you don't have a job, it's just that you know how to balance life.
Miss Nexie is called time management, and as realists always say, multitasking.
Yes, exactly. And that's the thing, like right now, I'm in an area where you cannot hear the seal because, otherwise you'll be like, "Are you in a zoo? Are you in an aquarium or something?" Because,
Oh,
or on the
you know
beach.
what? One time it was so hilarious, Miss Sexy, because I heard the seal, and then I heard my own lion. They were going off of each other.
Remember, Miss Marlene, when you hear that, when he was doing, and I was like, "Oh my God, I got it muted," because he was being, what was he then? I don't remember what he was, but he's over here munching on my cheek. And I'm like, everybody's listening. But people don't understand that we do have jobs, that we do have a lot of responsibilities. And actually, sometimes I will say we have a lot more than most normal people because we have special needs, little people that don't
Mhm.
understand. what it
They don't
is to be
boundaries.
quiet. Yes, they don't know what is that word. They don't even know what that means. There's no boundaries on them. So if sometimes we go off topic, if sometimes we do certain things, is because we get interrupted in the middle of our thoughts,
Yeah.
in the middle of our putting our 2 cents in there, because somebody comes in here and starts saying that they're a snake or they're a bear. Oh, a bear. That's what he was that day.
Oh
And I'm like,
yeah,
oh my God.
I remember that. Miss Nessie, every time my person, when I say boundaries, they do not like, because they know that word means action on their part. And they look at me and they wag their little finger at me like, no, 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 we're not going in. No, no, no. Do not use
No,
that
no.
word.
Yeah, no, you know what the word, again, they have no concept of, me time. So when I say,
Yeah.
I need some me time, he's like, oh, okay, so you want me to be there with you making noise? Okay, I'll do this, no problem. How much noise do you
Yeah.
want?
Yeah. When I say I need some me time, they sit right next to you and you're like, okay, so camera off it is.
No, no, I need some me time. You close the door and they're knocking. Are you done with me time? Are you done with me time? And people don't
No,
hear it
you
because
know,
we're quick to mute the
what mine
mic.
says when I say Miss Nexie, when I say me time, guess what mine says? We time.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, no, no. Mine, when I said me time and I closed the door, me time, I knock on the door. Are you done me time? Are you done me time? You done me time? You done me time? So they don't know how much we have to move around. And again, I'm not even a content creator. I can only imagine what
Yeah.
you go through to try to create your content in the most perfect way possible without all of the distractions that you have on your background.
Miss Nexie, why do you
Because
think on my vlog channel that I'm the queen of voiceovers? Do you know how many times I have the voices cut? Like I'll be almost done and then they come barging in. Snack time.
yeah, I trust me. I know, Miss Marlene. And again, because of things like this, like you and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that have to do these different things to be able to create. They probably have, full-time jobs and full-time families. They're doing all of this. So it is unfair for us, Miss Marlene, to criticize them on their face or with others or name drop, because we don't know how much it takes them, time it takes them to be this particular content creator. So the only thing I would say to people is, if you don't like what they're talking about, get out. Don't
Yeah.
criticize them. That's their content. At least they're out there making content that somebody can relate to one way or another. We, I will be doing, I think, a disadvantage to you if I will criticize you, because I'm not the one putting the time. I'm just here, giving you my natural voice, my perfect me. You have to come up with the topics.
Yeah. I
I
do.
couldn't say that with a straight face. I couldn't say that with a straight face.
Topic, send the
My
thumbnail.
perfection.
Yeah.
I only give you my perfection. Like, there's nothing else I do for the topics. You're the one that comes up with them, and we deal with them as we go from our life experiences. We don't read it from a book like a lot of people do. They read a book and then they recite it.
Yeah.
I,
And
I
and
did. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna.
Miss
So
Nexie
we.
and Miss Nexie, and when they're reading it, that's the reason why you want to go to sleep. You're like snooze fest.
Oh my God. My was it my no, my daughter, I think it was my daughter-in-law, or my daughter got or one of our nieces, I don't remember who it was, but they got this little book that says, go to sleep, bleep bleep baby.
Uh-oh.
There's a word in between, but it's super cute because it's for the adult in you, so you can laugh about it because that's what you want to say to the baby, but you can't. But again,
Get it.
you know, this person
Anybody who
has
has
a
ever been a parent, at least for one day, has said that. Go to bed, you
you,
sleepy baby.
you little piece of heaven. And this person has a channel and where she reads this type of books that are supposed to be for for parents of babies, right, of little ones. And
Mhm.
it's funny because even on her, like, she gives the titles and everything, and even then she only has, like, I don't know if it's on TikTok or IG. I'm not sure where it's at. I'm gonna look for it. But it the titles, it says go to sleep and the word is blurred, right? And blah blah blah. She just gives you the insights of the book, and it's a comedy. Well, people were criticizing her because apparently she was offending children or mistreating children.
Never for children, it's for adults.
And the channel is not for kids. Yes, it's not. The books are for the parents. They make it in like little kids form, right? But they're for the parents. It's like a funny, like a haha for a parent. It's not that you're gonna read this to your child. So they were accusing this girl of advertising profanity for children to read or something, or for parents to abuse children. And she's like, what? Again, we go again with the same thing, Miss Marlene. As content creators, only you guys know what you put out of your life. Now, how the person or how people are going to take it, that's on them. If
Yeah,
they don't like it, leave. Don't
and
follow
that
me.
and that's why I always said it's perception versus reality. And you know how many times, Miss Nexie, okay, I'll set up a live stream, like, oh yeah, I'm about to go in. And those times where you say you're about to go in and this is gonna be like, you get on that live and you fumble. And you be like, and sometimes I'll be live. I'm like, what are you even talking about? Okay, we're gonna just keep going. We're gonna mumble and fumble our way through this. And the funny part is the times where you don't even prepare anything and it's just like it just comes out and it's beautiful and you have like all these people come into your life and you're like, wow. But the times like when you really prepare for something, you get two people coming to it.
No, and you know what? Again, we go through that because we do work, right? Because we have to do this. Sometimes we're in the middle of a live, Miss Marlene, and you have said something, and then I have somebody next to me. Hey, what was the dosage again? Oh, blah blah blah, and I have to mute and answer that question. Then I come back and like, what were we talking about?
Yeah, I feel
And I
you.
go back and then I listen. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so yeah, so we were saying. Then I go in a different direction. You're like, okay, then I'm gonna follow her, and then I feed off, and that's a natural way of doing things, because we're not professionals. You know what I mean, Ms. Marlene? We're just two people that like to talk about weird things, weird topics in a healthy way. We're not insulting anyone. We're not dissing anyone. We're not calling anyone by name. We're just saying the things that I have seen you go through on your channel because you're my friend outside of this platform, and I've seen you struggle sometimes with people that, steal, or people that do certain things to you or say certain things about you. So I only know the part that angers me, it bothers me, and I wish I could do something about it, but I can't. But I listen to your struggles. And then I put myself in your shoes as you do your content, you search for the topics in your head, you feel what you want to talk about, and then for somebody to come and steal that, or somebody to come in and be negative about what you're saying, that's sometimes, what I'm saying is we can't do that to others. We don't like the topic, get out of it. That's all you have to do. Click unsubscribed. That's all. You
And,
don't even have to like it if you don't want to,
and Miss
but don't
Nixie, the
criticize
crazy part is
it.
those are the people who always keep coming back. They're always complaining about your
Mm-hmm.
content, but they keep coming back. So, recently I've had to make an executive decision. for somebody that always had something negative to say about me or other people in my chat. I had to make an executive decision as a content creator because my opinion, not Miss Nexie, not anybody who is in here, I had to make an executive decision that if somebody comes into my chat and they're being disruptive or very negative or trying to control, trying to get people to do something for them or talking about personal things in their life that has nothing to do with the content and it's a constant thing, I have to make a decision as the content creator to block them.
It is your channel. You have
Yeah.
the right to do that.
Like,
You
and
have the
I'm
right
not
to
that
do
type
that.
of person, Miss Nexie. I hate to do that, but there's only so many times where you can say, can you stay on the topic or we're not talking about that. Like, I always try my best to be the professional, but there is times, Miss Nexie, that you have to
Mm-hmm.
that you have to say, you know what? That's just me. I think that there are times where you have to do things because I don't want it to be a space where other people don't feel comfortable to express themselves or they feel like, oh, what are they even talking about and make them feel uncomfortable that they want to leave. I don't want any of my channels for it to be a space that anybody says like they can't say what they want to in dealing with the topic
At
and
hand.
something and somebody's always saying something that has nothing, like it's weird, it's strange or something all the time. No, I was like, yeah,
Hmm.
you gotta go.
Yeah, it's disrespectful.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. It's disrespectful when you're especially when you're talking about a serious topic that has affected many and still affecting many of us. Which is um, as as a
Mhm.
child or as an adult, it affects people. And when we're talking about those topics and people come and talk about something else that went on in their lives or a game that they missed or something that happened to them in that game as far as they fell and they broke this, I was in the, you know what I mean? Like, what does that have to do with what we're talking about? You're disrespecting the host and the topic at hand for people that can actually benefit from it because you're distracting them by them reading your topic. They're not really paying attention to something that can probably benefit them later on. So yeah, it is something that I don't like. Again, but for me, instead of being disrespectful on the chat or on a panel, I just get off. And I have been in panels like this, Miss Marlene, when we're discussing something and then they start throwing rocks at me because of what I just said, and maybe it wasn't to their liking. And so what I do is I remove myself from it
Mhm.
because I don't want to be associated with that. It's not me. It's not something that I do. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you in a live platform that is not even mine, a platform that is not even mine. It's you got to have respect for the host. So when people start doing that and I see that they have a problem with me, and it has happened several times, pretty much with the same person, when they do that, I get out of the platform. I get out of the live so that I don't cause the host any stress by staying there and continuing to have this person disrupt the live. So I get off and then I'm like, oh, I fell or whatever, or I'm gonna give somebody else a chance to go up there, and I get out of the live because I don't want to put them in a predicament where they have to either say something to this person, or you know what I mean, or disrupt the topic because of what's happening. So I just get out, and that's it. And when this person, and the funny thing is that every time I will go up, I will never see this person. But the minute I went up, this person will go up.
I know exactly
And
what
I,
you're talking about.
yeah, so what I did, I started doing is I started not going, and then my friend was like, what's happening? Why aren't you coming up anymore? And then I explained to her, this is what's happening and I don't want to go there. And she's like, okay, I understand, but you don't have to. I said, no, I know I don't. She goes, because I'll put that person in I go, that's exactly what I don't want. I don't want you to go there. I want you to continue the topic at hand exactly the way you had it in mind, because this is going to benefit a lot more people. What happens between me and this person is not going to benefit anyone. If anything, it can harm them. So why put myself there? I said,
Exactly.
so
Exactly, Miss Nixie.
yeah, so for me it's like, and she's like, I didn't know, that's why I was allowing this person to come up, like I didn't know that's what was happening. So when I saw that person, I would let her up because it was something that we always did. I said, yeah, but now this is happening. And then eventually, because I had this group, this person went and talked about me, and they were like, oh, well, we cannot have you up anymore because this person said that you said this, and you
Oh
did, did,
no,
did,
they
did, did,
didn't.
whatever. And even though my friend explained, yeah, my friend explained to them it wasn't her, it was the other person, because she had been with them longer, I guess, whatever. So they took her side, but eventually they learned. They learned, Miss Marlene. Now she's blocked.
Mm.
They learned it
Well,
wasn't me, and when they asked, I was like, nope,
yep,
nope.
I will never get. There's certain things, Miss Nexie, especially on this Red app. There is a certain thing as when you feel disrespected, like not somebody protecting you, but it's a certain thing like people who I rock with, like you and Gio, Realist, Nate. There's certain people that I'm
Mhm.
always there and supporting them. And if I find that something has been um disrespectful, um like the creator is being disrespected by somebody in the chat and they don't do anything about it. I don't know, Miss Nexie. I take that personally because I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
if they are going to allow this person to be controlling their chat, how do I
Mhm.
feel? What, how do you feel? I feel like, why would I ever go up on their panel? Like, why would I ever? You know what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say? It's like
Yeah, exactly.
I
And
don't like
and this is the
private
thing.
Mm-mm.
No, and this is the thing, Miss Marlene. My friend didn't know what was happening, because we will be talking about something. It was two or three people up there, and then this person, the minute I will go there, will be about a minute or so. This person will ask to be up there, and then everything I said, it was turned the other way. It was negative on that side. No, that's not exactly what happened. No, I don't think that's the way it should be. Like, kind of like,
Mhm.
taunting
Condescending.
me, everything. Yeah, and I will not respond to that person. And I think that bothered her even more, because I will continue on with what I was saying. And then, the other person will say something else. And I will say, yeah, that's right. That's exactly what I was thinking, like kind of the same way. And then this person will go, well, that's not necessarily true. And so my friend didn't know what was going on. That's why she didn't say anything, because she didn't know. She thought it was just a normal chit chat between friends, until I told her this is what's happening. And it's not just here, it's been in other platforms that this person keeps on going and taunting me. And me, I'm not going to disrespect them in anybody's platform. I'm not going to go there with anyone. She's like, well, I can say something. I said, nope, I don't want you to, because it's not
That's
your
the
deal.
and
And
that's the
yeah,
messy part.
and it's going to, I know, I said, and she's going to get exactly what she wants. I said, no, don't do that. Continue your channel. I said, the only thing I'm going to do is I'm not going to go up there anymore. That way, if this person comes up, or I cannot let her up, I said, then something else is going to start, and she's going to get you out of the group as well. So, no, just continue on the same way. And that's exactly what we did.
Well, Miss Nixie, and the person that you're talking about, I know exactly who you're talking about, and of course, I never will reveal names because I'm not a messy person. But that same said person has, it's not just you that they have done things to.
Uh
It's
huh.
many other people, and I can't tell you how many people have that person blocked because that's what they do. It's like they only want that person to have them as a friend, but anybody who comes along and tries to get close to them, they try to break that up. And I don't have time for that. At my big age, Miss Nexie, you think
Mm-mm.
I have time to be having somebody who is allegedly grown, throwing a temper tantrum like they're 2 years old? I don't have time for those things.
No, but again, you put the content creator and you put them between the two of you. So for me, it was easier to just get off the panel. That's it. If that
Mhm.
person is there, just get off and not go up there if we had a big, thing going, because I knew that every time that, because I could be off the panel and that person would not ask to be up there. But the minute I did, this person will do it. So I
Mhm.
told my friend, I said, you'll see. I said, if I don't go up there, no problem. One day I tried to go up there. My friend put me up there. Not even a minute later, she's trying to go up there. And my friend said, oh, now I get it. She never not believed me, right? Because
Yeah, but
she
she had
believed
to
me.
see it.
She didn't think it was on purpose until that happened. Now, I don't want the content creator to be distracted by children. And I'm not a child, but the other children that will come up. So for me, it's easier to do that, because the last thing you want is to harm someone that is putting good content out there, just because you cannot
Yeah.
keep yourself in check, and you're gonna allow people to be distracting others by going against what you're saying, because that's
Mhm.
what they're doing, just to distract others, and the focus to be on them. So for me, it was better not to do, and that's what I do. And the respect that I have for the people I follow, and you mentioned a few, we pretty much follow the same people, is that if I know that I'm gonna create some sort of something, I don't go up there. I don't say anything. I just on the chat. If
Mhm.
I am a mod and I have the time to do it, I will mod for that person without
Mhm.
them even knowing. But if not, then I just don't go, so that they don't get this other, because some people, they don't, this person doesn't even know me. And that's the thing that I was like, you don't even know me. Only because I don't agree with being friends with someone that has abused so many women, because I don't agree for you being their friend. That's why you don't like me. That's your choice. I will never do that, right? But that's your choice. If somebody
Yeah.
is, incarcerated for unaliving people, I wouldn't be friends with that person, right? Because I don't believe in that. So if you're friends with that person, Miss Marlene, that's on you. Doesn't mean I have to be your friend or I have to agree with your choice. But we can still be, okay with each other.
Yeah. There's
We
a
agree
few
to disagree.
there's a few people, Miss Nexty, on this red app that I've learned the only way that I can deal with them, I can only deal with their replays. You know,
Yes.
I can't ever go into their, like, and I hate that there's certain individuals I can't go and be there live and put, because every time, Miss Nexie, I go in that person said chat and I put something, there's always one or two people that have something that they start saying to me, and that content creator
Mm-hmm.
never addresses it, like, what's up with that? Like, why are you putting that in the chat, or why are you saying this about Marlene, or it's it's a that's a thing with me, because I'm so what do you call it, because of so many things that I've been through in my life. I'm very
Mm-hmm.
protective of the people who are
There
around
you
me
go.
because of what I have been through. And somebody who just says, oh, everybody's free to express themselves. Yes, everybody's free to expect themselves with respect.
And with
With
their own
respect.
ideas and with their own thing, not using me as their platform to disrespect.
Mhm. Exactly, Miss Nexley. And and that's one of the reasons why, we wanted to do this topic. I feel like it's a great one. And we probably could go on for 2 more hours. I can't believe it.
For
We've already
hours.
been live over 2 hours.
Oh my God, we have to end this because we can be here all day. But Miss Marlene, going on this topic, I have said this on the platforms that we have been together on. And I've said it many, many a times, and I'll say it again. I only support content that is positive content for me. I only like and follow people that are making a difference in this crazy world that we're in. I don't support
Yeah.
people that are bringing more hate, more crime or anything like that. I
I
don't
understand.
support people like that. I only support positive content. That doesn't mean that it has to be about changing lives. It can be about cooking. It can be about crafts. It can be about painting. It can be about anything like that. Something that is positive in life, I support. But negativity, I don't do that.
Mhm. I agree,
There you
Miss
go.
Nick. There you go. And my final words for this, I wanted to say that I was going to type in the chat, but it's just easier if I just say it. Don't let, to all my content creators, don't let other people stop you from making great content. You do your research, you know what you provide, you know the service and the value that you bring to this red app. So don't let the imitators, the duplicators, the narcissists, people with mental illness, the drama people, people who are projecting their insecurities. One of the best things that YouTube has ever done is that block, the hide, the
Hmm.
the time out. Like, I love it. We have those
Yeah.
options. So don't forget to use them.
And
Don't.
don't let anybody, like you said, with mental illness discourage you from putting out your content, your positive content, whatever it is that you do, because some people, they cannot be helped. But you can help yourself by blocking them, by hiding
Yes.
them, by timing them out, and by unsubscribing to that. But thank you for
Yay.
having me, Miss Marlene. Thank you so much for having. And you can support Miss Marlene's and her positive aura by clicking the like and by subscribing. Don't forget
Thank
that.
you. Thank you so much, Miss Nexie. Another awesome topic. Shout out to Miss Nexie and always being here with me every time we do this sip and chat. And we do these every Thursday, somewhere around between 7 and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So tune into that. And
No, next is standard time.
yeah, somewhere between that time.
I'm sorry, I was supposed to mute. No, I said next. No, I said next is standard time because she's the one that is always late.
Yeah, it's actually next to Standard Time and not Eastern Standard Time. So, yeah, there's that. But I appreciate every single one of you. Everybody who is new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And to all of my loved ones in the replay, I appreciate every single one of you. Leave me a comment in the comment section below. And yeah, and all of those things. And we'll see you all back next week. Shout out to all of my awesome mods, realist one here, retirement days, Miss Nexie, serious as a Virgo from Georgia, Nate the Great podcast, Boss Life Online, the ones that I really and truly, they rock with me. I rock with them. They rock with me. It's a cross support. Make sure you go over and you check out their awesome content as well. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. And me and Miss Nexie will see you all back next week.
Next week.
Yeah,
Yes.
next
Bye,
week.
everyone. Thank you,
Bye,
Miss Marlene.
everybody. Bye.